Good afternoon. Another beautiful day. The other day I was walking through a mall and there was this child, about 4 or 5 years old, just screaming, just losing it. And nobody said anything to the child. Now, to be fair, I don't know anything about the circumstance, whether the child had actually mental problems or whatever, but let's assume the child is normal, which I see a lot of in modern society. And I thought to myself, wow. Now, for my generation, this was just absolutely not allowed. Your parents would talk to you, and you could scream outside all you wanted, but you weren't going to scream publicly. And I think there's some danger here. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about a sense of responsibility. Now, I think all of us, as we mature as adults, realize that we have to be responsible. The decisions I make are my own decisions. And yes, I have influence from my parents and my teachers and my peers. But in the end, I must develop a personal sense of responsibility. So let's talk a little bit about this. Let's flesh this out. I think as human beings, we are somewhat like, initially, it's kind of a crude analogy, but I think we're a lot like dogs at the very beginning. We need training to socialize us, or not for that matter, or not. Because if you live in the modern world and you're perhaps under 30 years old, you realize very quickly that everyone, I mean everyone, is 100%. Virtually all people are pretty good looking. They have a little bit of money, decent education. They speak other languages, English and what have you. They have a good social circle. So what makes you 100% plus? What makes me 100% plus if everyone is 100%? This can only be my personal responsibility, my personal brand, if you will. The realization that there's no one like me. There never has been and there never will be, but means nothing. Nothing at all, unless I'm willing to work on me, the development of me. So let's say, as I believe, at the very beginning, I have no sense of responsibility at all. And let's assume my parents are also rather lax when it comes to responsibility. They let it go. The house is pretty organized, but not so organized. It's pretty clean, not so clean. They don't really teach me how, let's say, to eat properly, use chopsticks properly, how to dress properly, how to tie a tie, a bow tie, dress. It's up to me in the world. Now I'm about 20 years old, 22 years old, and I suddenly realize, gosh, I am not prepared for this world. I'm not prepared to take on the responsibility that I must take on if I'm going to be a quote-unquote successful human being. I realize now I'm free. So what do I do? What do I do? Well, many pundits, and I believe the same, many pundits say that when we first awake in the morning, if we have the time, we should spend a few minutes in silent meditation, talking to the universe, God, whomever you decide, someone above you, and deciding a little bit on your day. And you keep away from the phone, social media. Don't look up what's happened last night on Instagram, etc. Don't. It's damaging. And then the second thing you do is you make your bed. You make your bed. I don't make my bed. Come on. What for? I teach a lot of young people, and virtually no one at the beginning of a class will make their bed. And by the end, most will acknowledge, at least they have the conceptualization that they're going to make their bed. I pay a reward as well. Small chocolate, whatever it is. Small piece of advice, it doesn't matter. Because I think we also have to learn that I'm going to reward myself with these small gifts when I do something right. So then, of course, I do my various things in the morning. In my case, like I've said before, I shave, brush my teeth, have a shower, get ready for life, so to speak, right? And then the second thing after I make my bed is I review the day. Review the day. What is my mission, if you will, for today? What am I going to do? And in my notebook, I'm taking control of my notes, the most important things. And once again, the notebook is not a diary. You can use this if you want. It's not a journal. Use that as well. This is a book of your spontaneous thoughts. So I write everything in this that I possibly can. And then after I've taken command of my day, I begin to function. But an important aspect of this day that I'm discussing is time. Time. Now, everyone gets 24 hours in a day. Everyone. But you've heard the expression, wow, I have no time, or I don't know what to do with my time, kill time. It just runs on, right? But we all, regardless, have 24 hours. So how you spend this time is 100% up to you. No, it isn't. I have a job. Yes, but you wanted that job. I have a relationship. My children. Also true. But once again, you're in command of your time. And then, after this, after my bed, my analysis of the day, what's my mission for today, what's going to happen today, and time, I'm then going to reflect on how can I continuously develop my sense of responsibility. How? And the answer is rather, to be observant. Look around. Look around at the ants, the bees, the bugs, other human beings, the movement of traffic, images that you see continuously. Take in this knowledge. And AI, the internet, great, absolutely great to assist you in your mission to learn things, for sure. But ultimately, the responsibility, of course, is mine, right? So as I slowly but surely begin to develop my sense of responsibility, I'm going to learn, right? I'm going to learn languages. I'm going to learn about social etiquette. I'm going to learn how to use a knife and fork properly. I'm going to learn how to dress properly at the appropriate time, not overdoing it. I'm going to learn how to tie, a bow tie, all that stuff, right? I'm going to become the person I want to be, right? The person I want to be. And we've talked about this experiment. Have a shower. If you have a full-length mirror, have a shower, and then put your pajamas on, or not. In my case, better not. And if you have this full-length mirror, run up to it very quickly with a little bit of distance, if you can. And for a moment, your mind will be shocked. Oh my God, who's this person? Then you realize, oh, I'm sorry, it's me. That's how the world sees you. That's it. They see your body, the way it's attired, and they hear the words that come out of your mouth. So with personal responsibility, I don't utter the words, I'm bored, I'm lazy, I'm stupid, I'm fat, whatever it is. Keep those to yourself and improve the beautiful you. And then the final piece of the puzzle, as they say, reward yourself. When you've really accomplished a small task, have a piece of chocolate, or buy yourself a cup of coffee, or go to a shop and buy a new shirt, whatever it is. Reward yourself with these bonuses, because I've worked hard this day to work on my responsibility and to develop me. Recently, I was at a wedding, and at the wedding, there were people that were fantastically attired. Everyone looked so good. And other people had just gotten out of bed. They were disheveled. They didn't look at all presentable, right? And you ask yourself, what kind of image is that person portraying in the world? Well, to anyone of any sophistication whatsoever, whatever their social standing, one thinks they're either a loser or flippant. I'm just too rich and too powerful to care. Or I don't know how to care. Either way, these people, in my estimation, are not socialized properly. Don't you want to be an example to yourself, firstly, to your family, to your peers, to your friends, to the society of you? of the real you, right? The real being, right? This is what it's all about. Because if we don't begin to realize we have this individuality, I think we'll never solve the problems of the world. Why do I say this? It sounds awfully vain, but I think it's somewhat true. If you realize that you have uniqueness and you're here for a reason, then your sense of responsibility to complete your mission in life, why am I here? What's my mission? What happens when I leave here? Becomes overwhelming. You realize, wow, I've been given this magical, magical, magical gift of life, and now I must learn to develop it. Try to become the person that I am supposed to be. So think about this, right? My sense of responsibility for me is profound. And if I'm totally lost, I'm going to start by making my bed, whatever that means to me. Then I'm going to go and go forward in the day, taking on the responsibility of my time. And I ultimately am going to act on that time in the world, being more responsible, learning, and I'm going to learn to reward myself. Small blessings for the efforts I've put in and the success I've had. So think about this on this beautiful day. And you know what they say. You know what they say. Critical thinking is everything, especially when you think about a sense of responsibility. And critical thinking is great, truly great. You take care. God bless. Bye-bye.